Sticky Trifle Podcast. Welcome to the Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome, and on the first time ever on a Sticky Trifle Podcast, we visit Peterhead, or the Blue Toon as they call it. And our guest is going to be speaking about things that quite a lot of people wouldn't actually want to be so openly speaking about. However, Abdi deals with some of the things this person's speaking about, and more so than what we even can. And my guest has also picked a beautiful location, especially in this weather.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome, it's number 36 podcast, and we are in an amazing location. And my guest today for number 36, Charlie Donald. Welcome to Sticky Trifle Podcast.
I'm actually really excited to be here.
I'm excited to hear you on. You know, we're going to speak about this in a minute, are we?
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of things to speak about. Now, as you can, Charlie, every one of my guests, I like to treat them properly.
Yeah.
I like them to feel welcome. Now, our drinks today, I don't know if you've heard this. This is Iron Maiden, Sun and Steel, Trooper, Iron Maiden Trooper, Sun and Steel. Have you tasted these things?
No.
I've never tasted them either. So, here we go. We'll better say cheers here.
Cheers.
Cheers, our best. Let's say a check. It's a bit like Tenants actually, it reminds me of Tenants. But I'm not a fan of Tenants. But it's no bad. Right, okay, where are we at?
Peterhead.
We're in Peterhead, and what's this place called?
I actually don't fully know.
Aye, right, okay. So we're doing near like a coast, are we?
Aye.
So everybody else will ken it bides in Peterhead anyway. Great to hear you on.
It's great to be here.
Now, let's start with you as a person. Am I allowed to ask your age?
Yeah.
So are you 20?
No.
Are you 18?
Turning 18 now.
Wow, so I thought it was like 2021. Okay. So you're what, be turning 21 this year?
18.
18? Why am I saying? You look 21. I think you're 21.
Beard for you.
But you're not telling the truth. So you're turning 18 later this year?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And you've always been Peterhead?
I was in Fraserburgh for 2 years, but grew up in Peterhead, born in Aberdeen.
If I did you bide with?
My mum. In Peterhead.
What about a dad?
In and out of my life, mostly out of my life. So.
Okay, so you're not got a relationship with your
No.
dad that much, so. But
Well,
your mum you have?
Amazing
Aye,
connection
okay.
with my mum, kind of building it up with my dad again. So.
Which is normal. There's quite a lot of folk with different family upbringings and stuff like that. So it's to be expected maybe nowadays. Now see, like us look. Can we speak about your look?
Yeah.
Right. So like me, I used to hair goatee. You've got in like this beard thing.
Yeah.
Is that beard Biden?
Yeah, it's staying my life. I'm trying to go for like the long look because I'm Norse pagan.
It might be pointed.
Aye,
in line.
it'll probably be like
Lord of the
more-
Rings style.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. And you've got like this piercing thing. Is it a piercing?
Stretcher, yeah.
A stretcher. Okay. And how long have you had that?
I've had this size for 2 months now.
Mhm.
You kind of start off with your normal piercing size and it goes 0.1, 0.2. This is 16 I've got in, and it's kind of, you keep it in for a month or two so the ear heals, and if you want to stretch it, then you can stretch it again.
Yep.
And I think I'll be sticking at 16. I don't think I'll be going any bigger.
And you've got like piercings in your lips and
yeah. Snake bites.
And are they didn't cause any pain or problems?
No. To begin with, it was more weird having them in, because when I do go like that, they move, of course, and no matter what I do in my mouth, they will move and stuff.
And
but
they'll always stay there?
Most likely, yeah.
Aye, okay. And the hair also, it's like you've got a greeny tint in the hair.
Yeah.
If you notice that, I reckon. But so if it happens with us colours, is it something you change about now and again? Or?
I normally dye my hair blonde, well, bleaching it, as it's known as, and then I'll change colour, like, hopefully later next week I'll be changing it to more like of a purple.
Yep.
Rather than keeping the green, and it's kind of a way I like to express myself.
Alright, so if we're speaking about the look and expression, so this is a real you.
Yeah, this is the look that makes me feel comfortable, rather than like the school uniform, no piercings, kind of short hair.
Does this make you a rebel?
I wouldn't personally say so. I'd say it more depends on who you ask.
Aye.
If you ask the school, yes, I would be, but I would say I wouldn't say I would class it as a rebel look. I would.
See, that's a difference, Charlie, between you and a rebel. Rebels usually have a bit of an attitude.
Yeah.
You didn't have an attitude.
No.
You show it by your unique look. It's different.
I say my look is how I express myself. The people do it like through art or music. I like to do it through the way I look. I like to look unique from people, but not obviously unique, if you know what I mean.
Do you change with your seasons now? Would it be like every year? Can like maybe every summer? Are you going to have a slightly different look probably?
I'd probably have. It'd probably be slightly different. Like the hair would be different. Like the clothes I'd wear would be different type thing. Like in winter time as well, I'll more wear stuff like tracky bottoms for comfort and coziness. Where in like the summertime, I'll wear like my jeans, my boots, chains and stuff. So seasonal, I do look different, but it's kind of still the same premise, like the hair and the piercings and stuff.
I think it's great that you display it for you are, and if people don't like it, it's tough luck.
Yeah.
But what I like about you, you've always kind of showed that side without having this attitude. Now the reason we care each other is because so how does he care this guy Charlie? So me and you kind of go back. You was kind of one of my students.
Yeah.
A couple of years back, but you're still in the college course just now. And it's a lot to end shortly in the next few weeks. And you've been one of the students, you always come in, you get work done. And the other fact I like about you, you've had struggles in the past with being a student, which we're going to mention just now, coming up. But the other thing, is it alright to me to mention that your music, you look like you might be like heavy metal.
Yeah.
You do like heavy metal?
I do like, the main thing I do listen to is heavy metal, but...
Iron Maiden, would they be one of them?
Yeah, they're quite a common band I listen to. AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, stuff like that. But I've also got like the heavy metals like Slipknot, Korn and stuff like that, but then...
That scare me.
No.
You scare me with the masks, just Slipknot, carry on. So.
Growing up, my sister was the opposite. She likes like the Beatles, the Bee Gees and stuff. And my mum's more rock, so having that different genres around me my whole life, and then my friends having different tastes, I listen to some like Goo Goo Dolls.
I've heard of the Goo Goo Dolls.
And kind of different varieties of bands. I think the only two types of music I don't listen to personally is jazz and country. Other than that, I'll happily like sit down and listen to it and
so pop music doesn't appeal to you, does it?
Not personally, no, but if it's on, I'll.
But now you mentioned the Bee Gees there, which is one of the all-time great trios, and there was like great for disco music and all. So you could quite happily listen to like the Bee Gees, could you?
Oh, happily. If I hit shuffle my playlist, they're likely to pop up along like the Beatles or, surprisingly enough, Adele, as most people wouldn't expect from me, or.
It's amazing.
Like Bruno Mars and stuff like that.
And so, like, see us a musical background. Is there a wee bit or like, is that came off of like your mum's side or fit?
Yeah, it's kind of, my mum would listen to Status Quo very often, so that's where I got like the rock side of my music from. I grew up listening to rock originally.
Yep.
Then I started to get contact with my dad again. Learned he listened to more like heavy metal stuff, so that kind of got me into it. My mate also introduced me to Chop Suey not long before.
Chop Suey.
Chop Suey.
And is this a band?
It's a song. It's a band, and their most common song is System of a Down.
Ah, okay.
They're more.
I've heard of System of a Down actually, but I didn't kind of so.
So I got introduced to them it's the first year of academy. So that's where I kind of went into the heavy metal, but also thanks to my sister, it's kind of like the more, as I class, it's the mellow stuff. It's like the Beatles and.
Now you kind of look like you would be in a band yourself, to be honest. He's got a band look like to be in a heavy metal band, but you didn't play.
No
on instruments or anything.
Sadly not.
But you'd like to.
I'd love to learn to play the drums, but kind of where I live, upstairs neighbour has a child, so
but maybe
respecting them.
Maybe one day in future you could be buying us drums and doing line, So you're quite a unique character. You're looking at
I'd say so.
And it's great to be like that. Now, so going back to growing up, you're saying that you've been Peterhead, but you was in Broch.
Aye, for 2 years.
Are we right to say you was in a care home?
Yeah.
So why do you go to a care home?
Everyone has their own different reasons for going in care. It could be family problems, it could be mental problems or whatever. My problem was this: I was getting bullied in academy.
And how was the coping strategy here? Did somebody notice it, or did you go in and say,
to begin with, I did go to like guidance, but the one person I felt safe to speak to left, so that was my one cope mechanism gone. So after that, my mental health really took a toll, and
did you stop going to school because of that?
I stopped going because I thought it was better for my mental health to stay at home.
Which is really poor to hear, because that person that was kind of mentoring you, they left, and then you had nobody here for support.
So since I didn't go to third year and you have to, I kind of said, look, I'm not going. I'll go to academy, but not Peterhead Academy.
Yep.
So I got really lucky, and my social worker put me into Sexuality Park in Fraserburgh. So I went to Fraserburgh Academy for fourth year, end of third year. And I got, the reason I'm saying I'm lucky is I nearly got put in a residential school rather than a home. And a residential school is where you live in the school. And basically you'll walk downstairs or something and you'll be in class. So
you wouldn't have really had the freedom?
No.
While in the care home you had a bit of freedom, still try
out and stuff,
get life going a bit better.
That, and I wouldn't have actually been in Aberdeenshire if I did get into the school. So I really lucked out with the home.
Has it helped you a lot?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I was definitely in a dark place in my life when I first went there. I wouldn't shower, brush my teeth, hygiene, I didn't even think about it, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So it's kind of, they helped me get back on my feet with my hygiene, and then I started to go to academy, made some friends in Fraserburgh Academy. I only missed 3 days out of the entire time I went there.
That's amazing. So you're a good student and learner. You didn't need to cut stuff on board.
No, I love learning. I love going into class, especially college, doing the hands-on things. Because that's how I learn these years, doing it rather than sitting writing. So it's kind of
so the care that's definitely had an impact, but in a positive way. Are we all right to say that?
Definitely.
Right. And so you're now biding back in Peterhead.
Yeah.
You biding with your mum?
My own place now.
You've got your own place now. Okay.
Got my own.
So you've got a wee bit of independence going on.
Yeah.
What about pets in it?
For just now, I'm not allowed, because I got the flat through care and aftercare. They help you like further in your life, finding jobs and all that. So until my lease gets handed to the actual company that owns the building, I'm not really allowed pets.
You've got a pet, you've got a fly here or a beetle.
And basically, until it's back to them, it's up to their policy if I'm allowed pets or not. I think with their policy, I'm allowed your normal house pets like dogs, cats, fish and stuff.
Okay.
So,
right. So, talking about your own life and because is it alright to we'll get into the mental health aspect here, but you've dealt with mental health like anxiety. Am I right saying anxiety?
Yes.
Is it anxiety? Was it only anxiety?
I've got quite high stress levels.
And if it starts in Charlie?
I would say just past life experiences and kind of growing up telling myself to bottle up my emotions and kind of focus on, say, my mother and stuff to make sure she's okay.
Yep.
Kind of really set off the anxiety of I would get quite worried that my mum would notice I'm low, and then that would, and then the stress of going back to school, because I wouldn't go for like 3 months, and then I'd go in one day and I'd be like, you've missed all this.
And but for you to miss 3 months, was the school there like, was somebody there chasing up saying, look, he's been off a week, he's been off 2 weeks now?
My social worker was. She was
just
like, you've got to start going in and stuff.
You just wouldn't leave the house?
Yeah, I just kept going, I don't think I can, to be honest.
So, how did you, like, how do you get out? It's like a tumble dryer.
Yeah.
You get this tumble dryer, it's going round, and there's no point it stops, is there, once you get in it?
If you kind of let yourself get into it, you're there forever until you decide one day, that's it, I've got to stop this, or someone helps you. Luckily enough, thanks to Care, they kind of hit the stop button for me and went, look, we're going to help you sort this out.
So as an example, Charlie, see in lockdown last year in 2020, lockdown happened, did that once again start at anxiety and stuff?
It did make my mental health worse, kind of being stuck inside, doing the same thing over and over. My body likes the change, or it starts to panic that something's wrong, something should have changed by now, then I'll stress about it. And it did get bad. Luckily enough, I was at my mum's when it happened, so kind of having my mum there did calm me down, but after a while that sadly stopped working, and I did start to just kind of get really stressed again and really anxious about everything. And of course, I would like to say I have anger problems. I haven't been tested for it. My brother would get bored and want to do things, and then that would annoy me because I just want to be left alone. And it's kind of a circle of that every day, and kind of not having my own privacy as well.
Yep.
Really added on to that. So
see, like coping mechanisms and like fit kind of activities, if you're outdoors, would you do to help cope with that happening?
I personally would like to either go on a bike, like a mountain bike ride, or a long walk. Or what I quite used to do a lot is when I lived near the swimming pool here, is go swimming every day. If I was feeling anxious, I go, okay, bum, that's me off to the swimming pool. I'll be back in like an hour, and then I'll just go do my laps, do a couple of laps, and then like relax for the rest.
Well, fit will do. If you get anxiety today, me and you will get our shorts on, and we'll get in the water here. We'll do that since that next
We couldn't be in long, but
exactly. No, but it's great you're telling us about that, because I think Abdi, for kind of slightly I didn't get, like in lockdown, I admitted that I was maybe once or twice every 2 weeks. I would hit a really down day in lockdown, and it was just like, I think we've all experienced it, but the people that kind of says, oh no, I'm fine, I'm fine. I didn't believe it.
No.
I'm sure most folk had struggles, but I think, how can they not be admitting that life's not exactly as perfect for Abdi?
I think it's personally, I don't like to speak about my emotions to other people. I am getting better with it.
Yep.
I've learned it is a lot better for me to do that. I think the people that say no, I'm fine, are the same. I think they think if they open up, they're classed as weak.
So
because they've
opened up a barrier.
Where I kind of tell people, you're not weak to open up, especially if it's a man, because you kind of get the mentality of, I'm the guy, I have to, be the non-feel. I have to make sure everyone else is okay, and then especially if it's like one of my male friends, I go, look, you're not weak for opening up, you're actually quite strong. It's not easy to do it.
And how is your friendships anyway? Have you good friendships with people?
Yeah, I have really close friends, some from primary, and then some I've made in college that we've like just clicked.
And you keep a circle, and it's people you trust and stuff. The amazing thing about that is that some of us folk actually help you along the way, do they?
It's
because they find out about that stuff, do they? And it's like
it's
your support network.
Yeah, it's kind of like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, but with everything. Not just, oh, if you go help me move this, I'll help you with this. It's more mentally as well. It's like kind of with the small group of friends I have that I trust, it's literally if we see one of us upset, we won't stop until they're happy again. We'll talk about anything, we'll give as much advice as possible, just be as helpful as possible. And then they also have the mentality of, let's say I'm low, they'll do the same for me. they won't like leave my side till I'm happy again, or until like, yeah, just until I'm happy again. And
it's like that's something I've always seen in you. Like the maturity aspect is very. Can you you understand if it goes on around other folks' lives and that? But you get some mature people. It kind of and you're always going to get out of life.
Yeah.
But I love the way you've always responded, and you seem to understand that empathy for others kind of has to click in eventually.
I'd say thanks to kind of maturing quicker than I should have mentally. I've always grown up with that, and thanks to my mum, kind of something's up with them. Keep your eye on them. The second the littlest thing changes, go help them type thing. Or like if someone's getting bullied, like the second they walk away, I'll walk up and go, look, you okay? I can come with you if you want to go tell someone about it. I'm like an eyewitness. I'll happily stand with you and go, look, this did actually happen, you've got to do something about it. Or
it's great you see it in that, Charlie. And I was wanting to get into like relationships, because you've got an interest in you're like a different person for me, right? I'll give an example. So I'm no secret, I like women, and I like talking to people, right? I like talking to people, right? But when it comes to women, that's my preference. And we're speaking about sexuality here, actually. And sexuality, it's like something. Because I'm married to him. It can
be touchy,
or I'm kind of that's my partner, that's my boyfriend, my girlfriend. But like, so I like women, and I don't know why. Or certain names, I think, I really like him. But I don't know why. It's maybe because I talk to him, and I think, there's maybe a connection or a spark here. But like with you, it's slightly different.
Yeah.
So what is your preference?
I'm bisexual, which means I like males and females.
Aye.
Personally, there'll be some bisexual people out there that like females more than males. I'm 50-50. It doesn't bother me. It's more of like
Is it a connection? Yeah, a connection.
It's more of if we click and we get along, then I'm happy with it. It's kind of I am in a straight relationship just now. I do have a girlfriend, but I have had boyfriends in the past.
And so, like for me, right? Because this is it's like I care about this kind of things, right? And it's great that everybody's been more open about things nowadays. Like, they're lesbian, they're gay, they're transgender, whatever it is. But like, so there's no one side you would like better than the other.
No, I'm equal to both.
Aye, okay. And so, like, when did that start, by the way? Did you care when you was early out? What kind of age in life? Was you 10, 12?
It was
14?
First year.
So
I noticed
like 13?
13 turning 14ish, where I kind of noticed I started to, the classic teenage guys will stare at girls.
Yep.
I noticed I started to do that with some guys. I went, hold on, why am I doing that? And then for a couple of weeks I was kind of thinking to myself, pointing out stuff to myself, kind of going, okay, I've also done this, I've done that. And then I started to really like a guy I used to see on a daily, and I thought he was really cute, and and everything like that. And I kind of went, I need to know what's going on. So I kind of did like a Google search, like sexualities on what does it mean if you like men and women, the classic search.
Right.
And then bisexual came up, and the description of you like males and females. Making it basic, kind of my brain clicked, went, well, that sounds like the situation I'm in.
Aye.
So for another week I kind of kept that in my head, went through my daily life and just wanted to see if that would still classify, and it did.
It did.
So I kind of opened up to my closest friends. I went, look, I think I'm bisexual.
Aye, because if we ging back to when I had you at college time, like they mature as like a couple of guys in a class, and there's like, didn't been doing near Charlie, so kind of like that kind of thing, and it showed that immaturity. Yeah. But I love the way you also like dealt with it, because you didn't get angry. No. You laughed it off, but they was wanting a reaction.
They wanted me to kind of like kick off and go, that's unfair.
And you never did react.
No.
You took in your stride, but it was like slightly, we're bordering on, going back to the bullying aspect, it slightly was kind of bordering on a bully. Yeah. Which, because I can imagine, right, you're dealing with us comments with immature, a guy or two, but you've gone home and you have to deal with Oh, that's that comment again. And it's very unfair because, when you've got your own personal life, like, they hadn't to deal with it. They hadn't got a mentality to realise that, and I think it's something that you really took on board and dealt with, and you couldn't have dealt with it in a better manner, Charlie.
Like I said, I think it's because, like, the more adult brain I have, it kind of says to me, if you're going to get angry and stuff, don't do it in front of them, because that's what they want, and it'll make it worse for you.
Aye.
If you're going to get upset about it, do it at home, in front of someone you trust and you love, and that won't try and go, oh no, it's nothing. They'll actually help you through it. So,
but like at times it must have caused you like a bit of anxiety and stress, did it? When there was doing that and that?
There were some days.
How did you deal with it? Was it like trying to get head sorted out properly?
Yeah, it was kind of in class. Let's say we're like doing classwork and it started. I would more focus on the work and try and drown them out, and kind of focus. Oh no, I've got to go do this. I've got to plumb. I've got to do it this way. And more focus on the work I'm doing than them. It was like the changing rooms and stuff that was harder to ignore, because it wasn't as, oh, I'm doing work, you can just focus on that. But I kind of took it on board for the day, and when I got home I kind of dealt it with music, and I'd like to draw sometimes, just do like little doodles and stuff. So if I was having a rough day, I'd just go in my room, sit down, put in music,
do some
and
artwork,
doodle, and just either write, doodle, play games or whatever, till I felt better. And then I'd kind of go out and talk to my family and stuff, and get the classical "how's your day been" stuff like that. So.
And see, again, back to the sexuality thing. So, do you think, right? So you've got a girlfriend just now, and as we are, Ken, not every silver lining weddings work out, or relationships. Like, people can be in love together, have kids, and next thing they're split up, and it's like, oh, I hate him. Oh my, I'm getting against solicitors, and so there's a lot of different reasons why people split up in life. But the difference with you is that, do you think it's always going to be something foraging back and forth between males, females, or?
There is, I can admit, there is times where I'll be more attracted to males than females, but majority of the time it is like whoever I'm speaking to is who I'm speaking to, where there'll be times where I'll be more, oh, what a boyfriend. I'll more talk to guys than girls, or there'll be the opposite some days where I'll go speak to girls rather than boys. But
now see, since we're mentioning this is an interesting point I want to mention, because the bisexual thing, does that mean, would you be up for being a dad someday, or is that something you wouldn't want to do?
I've actually wanted to be a dad most of my life. I'm excited and terrified of being a dad. I'm excited because I like the thought of being the father figure and kind of giving my children the life that I didn't have, kind of being there for them and stuff. But then the paranoid side of me is I didn't have a dad for most of my life, so I don't really have a model to go off of. So, but I've always loved the thought of being a dad and having a family, whether it's having a male partner or a female partner.
This is so interesting. It's like you're opening my mind here when I'm listening to this, because I'm thinking, well, I didn't think, because if he's bisexual, you wouldn't want to be a dad, but you would actually. So
I'm heavily a family person.
I could actually see you being a really good parent, and you've got a care inside to you, Ken, and so it's great to hear that, Charlie. Now, going on to the future and that, obviously nobody ever kens the future. We found out last year that the future is it's a very special for now on onwards. We don't want to waste any more time. So anyway, what do you think the future's had for you?
Hopefully at the end of this year becoming an apprentice joiner, serve my time and then become a joiner.
So you fancy getting into joinery as a job and stuff like that?
I've always loved the thought of doing the hands-on stuff like joinery or anything like that, and woodwork was my favourite class in academy. So, and then hopefully learn a bit of carpentry as like a hobby, and kind of do that on the side at home or something.
So that could be the plan future.
Hopefully, yeah.
And the other thing I'm aware of, you like board games.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of board games and that. So I'll give an example. I was I was in Tesco like 2 months ago, and Monopoly and Guess Who. I've both still got them, Charlie, by the way. But the latest Monopoly, like a compact version, was going for £10. I thought, I'm going to buy it. It's still not been opened this day. But what kind of board games do you like?
I quite like card games as well, so like Uno. It's quite a good game I like to play. Monopoly is one.
Is this for, are we speaking about real money being used for your,
No.
there's no bets or anything happening at the table, okay,
No.
alright, so.
Not my family.
So you actually do Monopoly now?
Yeah, D&D is another one I quite like to do.
Which is Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. And is that a bit the same as like at Warhammer? Or Warhammer?
Kind of,
Is it kind of in that same vein?
It's run about the same premise, except you're not necessarily fighting the people you're playing against. You're fighting with the people you're playing against. You kind of get, you know, your classic like night games where it's like, oh, you got to go save the princess from this tower. And it's basically that, but you get to create your own character and like their weapons, their backstory, and you're all kind of given an objective. And you've got to do that objective as a team, but on the way there's challenges, and you've got like your character gets hungry and they need to drink and they need to sleep, so you've got to keep that in mind as well while you're doing all this.
This is what happens in real life. You've got to eat and sleep.
And
take care of your character, your man sailor.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So you all get like this same objective. You know each other's names and race and stuff, but you don't know what if they've got like a secret or something. So you got to build the trust in your team as you're doing it as well. And
this is how much folk at a table would be playing this game?
Normally, I'd say 5. 5 players, like 1 dungeon master as they're called, which would create like the campaign as it's called. And kind of your challenges and stuff like that. So.
Very interesting. You lead a very interesting life, that's for sure. So I'm really glad I've met you, and I'm so glad you've come on a Sticky Trifle podcast, number 36. And I hope everything keeps going a way forward, like especially the mental health side with you, because it's great to see you. I mean, I'm sure a lot of folk will appreciate you've come out, and we had a pretty deep conversation here actually. And this deepest conversation I've maybe had with one of my guests, for you've really let us into it, just a wee bit inside your mind, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, that a lot of folk can hide what's going on behind the mask. And for you to display that is like fantastic. And I can only wish you all the best for the future, Charlie. And next time I see you in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, this beard will be
quite long, hopefully.
You might be in Lord of the Rings the next couple of months.
Hopefully braided and everything.
Aye. Right, thank you for being on the Sticky Trifle podcast, and all the best for the future, Charlie.
Thank you.
Right, and we'll see you next week, okay?
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And that is definitely by far the most open and deepest anybody's been regarding getting into their own personal mental health and even their sexuality along with other things.
Sticky Trifle podcast will return next week.
And next week, I think we need some females on, didn't we? Is there a lack of females on the Sticky Trifle podcast? Let's change that next week. Let's just hope they're not easily offended and they've got a bit of girl power. See you next Sunday. Bye.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.